Well, guys, yeah.
I said guys because Steve doesn't like it.
Lug wrenches are for suckers.
Alright, so tire aired back up. All I ended up doing was just taking the once I got the tire off, I was able to get it aired up, and you can't even hear it leaking, so it's obviously a really slow leak, but somehow managed to leak down completely overnight. But we're just going to go by the tire repair shop and get them to repair that instead of swapping out with the spare, which was a good thing because we couldn't find the crank down bar to crank the spare tire down. So this is, it's going to end up being an hour and a half delay, but whatever.
So it's like, I don't know, 10:30, and we just got the car back from getting the tire fixed. There was a nail in it. We still haven't gone to Home Depot. We still haven't gone to the trailer. We still haven't checked on the pigs, and I'm super worried about them because they were out there all night with no guardians. And when I got over the fact that they're probably fine from any predators, then I would realize I don't know, maybe there's a hole in the bottom of the fence they can crawl under and root their way under it, and now they're not contained anymore. And this is gonna stress me out a lot.
So this is our neighbor's property that we passed by on the way to the farm, and Steve's like, "Oh dear, you should shoot them for B-roll." And I'm like, what the heck? We're worried about the pigs, but whatever.
With the stupid loppers or crap, I didn't realize how bad they are. And then hit my face every time I got the trailer back up trying to do something. Alright, so here we go. We're gonna see if we have coyote carnage or happy pigs or what.
Look at them. They're so cute.
Slipped. You got them?
Yeah. Where's their bowl over there?
I guess this is a two corner.
Hey guys. They're still super nervous about us. But not Apollo, apparently. They're chewing ice.
Their little tails wag. I see what they're talking about, where Dixie's tail's
Yeah,
short.
Dixie has a short tail because her mama ate it off. They're so cute. Little waggy tails.
okay to put him in here now?
Maybe.
See what he does?
Yeah.
You want to check him out, Apollo? Okay, so this is Apollo, future guardian dog, along with Luna, and we're going to introduce him to the piglets and just see how this goes. Probably should have a leash, but he's a pretty timid guy anyway, so I don't think anything real bad's going to happen here. So one of the things we have to do for the farm and really our domestic water is, I mean, we got to have water, right? One of the great things about this property is it has a spring pond. We could drill a well for our domestic water, but I mean, it's expensive and we don't really have the money for it. So I've done a lot of research and I'll definitely do some future videos on it. We really think that we can capture this spring water for our domestic usage and livestock and whatnot. And we'll do that using sand filtration, by the way, slow sand filtration. And I will definitely do some in-depth videos on that because I've done a lot of research on it. But the first thing I need to do is I'm going to set up sort of a catchment here. Typically what you do to tap a spring. And the reason I'm going to do that, I'm just going to do sort of a temporary one so that I can determine what the flow rate is that's coming out of this pond. We've talked to one of the neighbors on the adjacent property who grew up around here. He's like 70 years old. He said this pond has never gone dry. And at the time we've had it, it is always flowing water out of this it's sort of a natural spillway. But, you know, there's no way just the water trickling on the ground to determine what the flow rate is. So what I'm going to do is just sort of downhill of the pond edge here, I'm going to dig up a hole, use this type of plastic. It's actually fiberglass reinforced plastic, and build like a head wall with the catchment PVC in it, and put some gravel in behind it, and hopefully if I do it right, although it's pretty rocky right here, big rocks, I'm not sure how well this is going to work, but if it works out the way I want to, all that water will take the path of least resistance through the PVC pipe that I give it, and then I'll have a nice pipe sticking out that's flowing water, and then it'll be really easy to stick a bucket under it or something and kind of determine the flow rate, and then we can find out whether it's realistic or not to use this for domestic, or if we just have to stick to using it for the livestock and whatnot only. Here, actually, let's start over here a minute. So I've got like sort of a hole dug. This isn't looking very promising, by the way, because this should have filled up a lot more water by now. But it's kind of like an ice dam right here right now, so we'll see what happens. But anyways, I drilled a couple holes. One's for the overflow, one's for the actual piping, and then I got a package of just O-rings. Put them on this fitting. I'm just doing this, so it gives me more or less a watertight connection at these, because again, we're trying to create a situation where the path of least resistance for the water is through the piping rather than through these little holes. And if we give it something like that, then that's how come the water will go through the pipe instead of around these cracks and whatnot. Yes. Okay, so you can see here, this water's really cleared up where the catchment's going to go. I wasn't able to finish the catchment today because I really needed a couple of pipe wrenches with me for some fittings, and I didn't have them, so I'm just going to have to wait and do it another day. I'm also concerned that this isn't the flow rate of the spring, that rather, I sort of cleaned up that natural spillway I talked about before, and I'm really concerned that all I'm doing is just lowering the level of the pond, that that's not actual spring flow rate. We'll find out. And I can't really find out tomorrow because it's supposed to rain in the morning, so I want to let all that settle down for a couple days. We don't have a lot of runoff that feeds this pond, but there's enough to be concerned about it. Okay, so overall, sort of a mixed day today. Actually, it was a good day, but I'm still sick, and I'm just cranky. I was sort of mad at everything today. Not mad at anybody, just mad about everything. And I didn't have the tools I needed to finish my catchment, to measure my flow rate for the pond. But the main thing is, hey, we got a couple of dog glues out here that we used, that we're using temporary, we're using one dog glue that's really pretty large, that the 3 piglets can easily share for some time, while we work on getting our temporary electric fence, because we're going to be grazing these guys and moving them often, which is why we'll use the temporary electric fence. But at any rate, they've got that dog glue with some hay and straw in it now that they can sleep in, a place to stay warm out of the rain if they want to. And then we have another dog glue that, instead of putting hay and straw in it, I just thought, hey, that's a perfect place to just put their big food bowl in there, and that'll keep it dry, and they just could sort of stick their head. You can see where they can just sort of stick their head in there and eat, or probably they'll end up crawling in there and being inside of it, but whatever. The main thing is they've got area for dry food, area for dry, to get out of the weather if they want to, and warm if it gets really cold. And they apparently didn't have any problems last night. I mean, we know there's potential predator pressure out here. We've stayed out here before, camped out a few nights, and we know there's a lot of coyotes, but so far so good. But we'll try and get that electric fence up soon, and that'll help keep the predators away as well. Can you think of what else am I missing?
I think that's it. I mean, we had a rough start today. A lot of rough starts today. I don't think the rough start stopped today.
I forgot the tire.
Yeah, the tire, the long wait at Firestone, the extra tools we had to buy because we didn't bring everything from home and didn't want to go back to home.
And then ended up not needing it anyway.
Ended up not only not needing it, but then still didn't have the tools that we needed. So, I mean, other than the pigs being happy as pigs, that was the best part of the day. That and Apollo, he's been really good today. He's chilling over in the corner, not even caring that the pigs are right there chowing down. And so I mean, overall successful, I guess.
I forgot about that. We introduced Apollo to the piglets, and they were honestly indifferent about him. They didn't even really care about him at all. But
there was one of them that looked like they were gonna maybe charge him or something, but they just had a standoff and both went their separate ways.
Yeah, and he's, at first he tried to play with them, but he found out pretty quickly they're not interested in playing, so he's gradually lost, well, I wouldn't say he's entirely lost interest, but he's lost interest in trying to play with them at least.
So thanks for watching, and we know you have a lot of options as always. We appreciate you watching us. Hit the subscribe button to keep track of what we're doing every day, and we'll see you later.